So we have Facebook, we have Instagram. Let me go ahead and hide that. And I'm going to bring Elle on so that we can tell you guys a little bit about ourselves, tell you guys a little bit about this conversation we're going to have. So if you see me looking up and down, it's because we are trying to do the most, trying to get all of our bases covered and talk to both Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So let me go ahead and bring Elle on the screen with me so you guys can see her as well. Hey! We got one down. All right. So hello, everyone. If you're new to my Facebook page or Instagram, my name is Christine St.Vil. I am the creator of Moms in Charge, a blog I started back in 2012 to help moms feel good without feeling guilty, to go after their goals and dreams. And so, as you all know, with everything going on right now, many, if not all schools across the country are closed for a minimum of 2 weeks or so. And so we are both homeschool moms. I have been homeschooling, this year will be 7 years, and Elle has been homeschooling for 6 years. She has twin daughters. And so we wanted to come together and just share some resources to encourage you as well, because we know it can be terrifying. We know it can be nerve-wracking, all of those things. So I'm going to let Elle tell you a little bit more about her, and just her journey as well. And we're going to get started. So we are live, like I said, both on Facebook and Instagram. So hello to our Instagram peeps and hello to Facebook.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I am a homeschool mom just like Christine. I have been homeschooling for 6 years, so, every year is different, so I can't say that, I've got it all together.
No.
I'm definitely comfortable in my decision, and I think that's what makes all the difference. And so we want you to know that moms, dads, whoever is home with the kids, yes, it will seem like it's a lot to handle because it's not something that you're used to, but because this is something that we do every day, we want you to know that you can definitely take this on and thrive at it.
Yes.
It's not even just coping. Smooth sailing, you can do it. And so we wanted to share some tips and tricks to help you, because we've been there. We've been there when it was the beginning and, we were frustrated, didn't really know what was happening, but we want to help you so that you can focus and you can make sure that your kids don't experience brain drain. And I think that's what sometimes happens over the summer. And so where they're not necessarily doing the schoolwork like they would normally throughout the school year, and they may lose like certain math skills. And so what we want to help you do is give them little assignments, nothing really major, but little assignments to help make sure that they don't get sucked into the brain drain.
Yes. So let me know, Elle, when you're able to hop on to Instagram as well, and I'll add you to there. But yeah, so as Elle said, we see what's going on, we see the messages, we see the memes, people just really getting nervous about doing this, and we, like Elle said, like it changes year to year, so we don't feel like we have all the answers, but we definitely have been able to do this for long enough that we're comfortable, like she said, in doing it. And we just wanted to create a space where we can talk about it, where we can hopefully answer some of your questions that you guys have, hopefully be able to give you guys some resources that you can use for your own kids. So I'll start. My kids are 8, 10, and 12. And so they're still elementary / middle school. Elle, you can talk about your age group and...
So I have twins. They are 11 years old, so they are in the 6th grade this year. And this was the first year that we were doing co-op 3 days a week. So we're going into something that's totally new too, because co-ops are closed as well. It's not just the school.
Yes, they are. And we have been, I forgot about that. So we've always been a part of a co-op as well. Not 3 days a week, usually 1 to 2 days a week. This year we've done 2 days a week. And so they're actually decided to just close the rest of the semester because we finish out the semester actually in April. So they just decided that we'll just be done since we're not going back till April sometime anyway as well. So so let's just talk about, just if you guys, I know I'm looking at trying to get all the comments as well. Dino, I commented there. He said he's scared. He's never homeschooled before. Don't worry, Dino, you are not alone. Trust and believe you are not alone. K.R. Wilson, right on time. I have been curious about homeschooling, if it's right for me and my children, so it's a perfect time. Hey, Dr. Williams, he said, great information, keep sharing. Thank you so much. So so we just definitely wanted to hop in and just start sharing our own journey. And if you are on Instagram, I actually just shared several resources, and I'll share as well on here. Actually, I can't because it's in my phone and I'm live streaming from my phone, but I had a series of resources that I just shared over on my Instagram page in my stories, and then I also highlighted it. So everything from podcasts, blogs, online resources, and so I actually talking about blogs, wanted to actually ask Elle to share a little bit about her podcast, because that's one of the things that she talks about on her podcast, Cleverly Changing Podcast, is homeschooling, and she involves her students. So one of the things that I also wanted to touch upon before we talk about that is just the fact that, I know a lot of parents are we have to keep them, busy the whole time, right? While they're home, right? So what do you say about that, Elle?
So I say don't overdo it. Mm-hmm. I think right now it's a stressful time, not just for the kids, but for the parents as well. And so you want to utilize the warm weather. You want to get outside. You don't want them to be cooped indoors for this whole time. I know that we've been told to practice social distancing, and that doesn't mean that you can't go outside and take a walk. And fresh air is a cleansing thing. So you want to actually get some fresh air. If you have a backyard, you want to take a walk in your backyard. So while museums are going to be closed, the greenways are not. So you can take a walk, you can go hiking, you can spend time out in nature. If, that's not your thing, you can come up with some other way to spend time outside. But it's going to be healthy for you to actually get outdoors. And so I would say, back in the day when we all grew up, there wasn't really this social media stuff. There wasn't really the internet.
Yes.
Because really, we're old enough where we remember the time before the internet.
Yes.
So that was when we could play outside for most of the day. So my thing is, make that time fun. Mm-hmm. Spend time with your kids. And I know some parents are going to be working from home, so don't try to overdo it and duplicate what people are doing in school.
Yes.
I think for homeschoolers, that was the biggest lesson. That
learning curve. Yes.
Not bring the outside classroom into my home, because that's not going to actually work for me and my family. Mm-hmm. And so you have to do what works for you and your family.
Yes.
Okay, what their teacher was doing.
Mm-hmm.
If the teacher has sent home a packet of assignments, don't look and say, hey, this first day we're going to complete a whole worksheet. Mm-hmm. You may have to actually break that up and do a couple questions each day, maybe a couple in the morning. So you will learn a rhythm and a flexibility, but my number one thing to parents is be flexible.
Yes.
You don't want to be frustrated. You don't want your kids to be frustrated, so take it one day and one step at a time.
Yes. Amen to all of that. And sometimes you'll have the days where nothing is working, the kids aren't focused, and they're driving you crazy. So find out this might be a good time for you all to really find out what your kids are interested in. What are some of their interests, that they have, that you can now take this time to kind of nurture those interests, and kind of figure out what that is, So, my daughter loves video editing, and so we started a YouTube channel because she enjoys doing that. So it became, okay, how can we created a day on Tuesdays where we carve out time for them to work on their video content. So use this as an opportunity to figure out what else can they do. For us, we limit the technology and the the tech that we have in the house that they're able to do on a regular basis. And so, it's amazing how creative kids can get when you limit those things, right? When you take away their phones, when you take away their iPads, they can get really creative and they'll surprise you. Like my daughter has been working on a dollhouse made out of old shoeboxes and cardboard for the last couple of days, and it's actually really impressive to me. So use this as an opportunity to explore new things. Elle, you shared a quote that I reshared in my stories the other day, just about taking this time to enjoy your kids. So if you can kind of share what that was.
So on my Instagram page, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get up on Instagram. Devices, but sometimes things just
I know.
Fine. So that's what's going on. But
I think I found it.
Really? Oh, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna share it if you didn't find it.
Oh, so it's I wrote, this is a time to have fun with your kids, bake, do some projects together, and explore together. So one of the things that I try to do with my kids, even we talked about that I'm a blogger too. I've been blogging for about 10 years. And one of the things that my kids and I really connected on was cooking. And I used to do a segment called Cooking with Kids. And now we make cookies, we make granola, and my kids actually will make their own lunch, they'll cook dinner. And so it's really been a time for me to give them some autonomy. Now, if you have younger kids, of course, they're not going to be doing it on their own, but they definitely can help you.
Yep.
And I think, it's really just, we can look at the downside, but the best thing to do is to look at the upside.
Absolutely.
Some quality time where we get to talk to our kids, get to find out what's on their mind, and really get to explore with them. I talked a little bit about going outside together, but you can even explore things in your house. So earlier today, we put together a shelf. We painted.
I love it.
Did some things in the house. Like there's going through clothes. Like you don't wear this size anymore. We did some organizing. So it's one of those times where it's great for spring cleaning.
Yes.
Weather is warm, open those windows, wash those comforter sheets. And I know that sounds like chores and stuff, but you can definitely make it fun. When you put on some music and everybody has a dance party, I would say maybe do something constructive for 15 to 30 minutes at a time and then take a break. Do a dance party, mix it up, change things, because you don't want your day to get monotonous. That's when people start getting stressed, like, oh my gosh.
They're bouncing off the walls.
Right. So the best thing to do is to kind of be flexible with it, but definitely plan. I think, I shared a schedule example that a mom had created, and it was shared by Nesta, and so I reshared it because I think, it changes things and puts things into a block of time.
Yeah.
And I think it's so helpful for you not to just let your kids be on devices all day. And I know that there are some people saying, it's okay, it's only 2 weeks. The truth is, we don't know how long it is.
Right.
And we do know that kids can get addicted to technology, and we're not trying to create any bad habits.
Right. Right.
So my thing is mix it up, maybe 30 minutes of, device time, and then maybe play a board game. There's also
we love board games.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we love board games. Board games, Monopoly, Uno, card games, all of that.
You talk about Monopoly. Monopoly is a great way
Yes.
to that.
Yes.
Come on, that's a whole skill. Counting money.
Yep.
They don't even know that they're
They don't.
And Monopoly takes a long time, but it's fun and it's engaged. Especially if you have kids where it's hard to keep their attention for a long time, pull out the game.
Yes.
Games do a great job of helping to maintain that attention and get them focused. So I'm all for Monopoly. I mean, there's tons of games. You know how when we were little, we would do the hand games.
Yes.
Your kids some of those hand games
Yep.
that you used to play when you were little.
Mm-hmm.
They probably already know them. They can show you something new.
Exactly.
You know, kind of tap into what you did as a kid.
Right.
A jump rope. Even if you don't have a jump rope, maybe you have like a line or something. You know, some rope. Make a jump rope.
Make something.
Make something together. Or make something.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much you can do. One of the things that we're going to do, we're going to take our egg cartons and we're going to start making, because it's garden time.
Yeah.
So we're going to plant some seeds. We have some seeds like, you know, your kids may be eating some mandarin oranges. I don't know. Plant them. Plant some beans. You know, all those things that we used to do when we were in school, now is the time to bring those things back to your memory and implement them with your kids.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, to your point, Elle, one of the things that you mentioned I want to touch upon is that, you know, we touched upon like kids, you know, getting, you know, antsy and, you know, they're bouncing off. Like that's an indicator that it's time for a break. So rather than allowing that to stress you out, like take that as a hint, like, okay, let's take a 5-10 minute break. Let's figure out. And then as to Elle's point, when you talk about your planning or you start to plan your days, start to plan out what you're going to do in those break times. So if you know that, okay, if we have 5-10 minutes, we're going to do a coloring sheet. So if your kids like to color, or we're going to, you know, do a Uno game real quick, or we're going to play a couple of rounds of Monopoly, you know, have those things set out so that at that time when you have, you know, that 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do that break, you have it already there and you're not looking for those things that you need to do. So figure out what are the things that you want to do during those breaks, and then also use this as an opportunity to, you know, like we talked about teaching our kids, you know, the games and the things that we did, but use this as an opportunity also to find out what your kids are into these days. Like, I don't understand all the music and the dances that they're doing, but I'm going to get on their TikToks and I'm going to learn them, and they've challenged me to do that. And so I've done that with them, and it's a fun time to like really bond and get to know what your kids are into these days.
Yeah, and I think that's great. Here's the thing. We always look at this. Sometimes when we think about homeschooling, we think about the parent teaching. Mm-hmm. And that's really not necessarily the whole concept.
Yeah.
It's a give and take sort of thing.
Yep.
Where kids are teaching you, you're learning alongside your kids. It's not just open up your mind and I'm going to fill it. You know?
Right.
That's not how it is. It's, you know, it's also a great time for you to read, for your kids to see you read.
Yes.
Or some audio books. Because here's the thing, those libraries are going to be closed too.
Yep.
So if you didn't go stack up on some books, you know.
Or don't have any.
With your neighbor.
Yes.
Take some books with the neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a time when you can use Audible. I heard that Kindle Unlimited was giving out free trials for 30 days.
Oh, awesome.
Utilize those. You know,
awesome.
Definitely take advantage of those. Because with Kindle, even if you may not actually have a Kindle device, there's an app that can go on your other tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So utilize that. And
okay.
After you listen to an audiobook, discuss it with your kids. Like, the truth is, we often don't spend enough time with our kids really getting to know their world. Mm-hmm. So use this time as an opportunity to get to know their world.
Yes.
Let them teach you something new.
Absolutely.
Let them do a new craft.
Absolutely.
So I love that you mentioned that you're going to get on TikTok and learn some music.
Black Upstart, Black Super Dad on Instagram said, "Oh boy, what's TikTok?" Well, just kidding. Trust me, like I was like, let me just figure out if this is what they're into, let me come into their world, because then it also builds that trust with them as well. And so really this whole parenting thing, I mean, it's a journey. And so, you know, when you're throwing a curveball, it's all about like what Elle said earlier, figuring out how to make it work for you. Looking for the good in it and how you can take advantage of these opportunities. And so, you know, we really just wanted to just encourage you guys and say, hey, like, you got this. Like, it is okay. The kids will be okay. You know, and there's more support out here than you realize. And today with so many resources and tools online as well, and Facebook groups, like, you are definitely not alone. So, Elle, do you have some like fun or just favorite educational, like online, platforms that you utilize on a regular basis that you want to share?
Yes. So before I tell you the actual platforms, I want to say that one of the games that I play online with my daughters is chess. My daughter actually...
Oh, we love yes, my kids love chess.
I did not know how to play, and it was my kids who taught me. And so we also play Jenga online. Yeah. We actually have a Jenga game.
We do too.
But we do both, and I want to say that I have opened myself up to learning from my kids. And really, you may want to give them 3 or 4 math problems a day. Give them, math is one of those things where you kind of have to keep doing it in order to remember. So that's one of the things that I encourage parents not to sacrifice. You can sacrifice social studies because spending time at home, getting to know stuff, that's really not a huge thing. I mean, I hate to say it, but in my mind, that's one of the things that can be sacrificed. Health, you can incorporate that with your cooking and your food, so you can add nutrition to that in what you already do.
Right.
So it doesn't have to feel like a class. But math is that sort of thing where you can totally let your kid watch a program. There are tons of documentaries on Netflix that are science-based, like they do the ocean. I know we love Planet Earth.
Oh, yes.
So as a family, we actually have a Planet Earth game, so we actually play that and ask questions. But whatever you're doing, like a Netflix documentary, you can actually go online and search for activities for kids, and something will come up.
Yeah.
But some of my go-to resources...
And really quickly, Elle, before you share that, because I just wanted to touch on what you just said, like, there's a lot, we're both entrepreneurs, there are a lot of other people that are entrepreneurs, and even if you're not an entrepreneur, you can use this as an opportunity to talk about, your work, what you do at your job, how it helps, how you help people, and then, use that as a lesson in those things as well, because there's always, math involved. There's always just social learn, like all those different things that you can bring into, you bring your kids into your world as well, so that they can understand, especially if you're working from home. Let them know what you're doing. Like, tell them, explain to them, bring them in. Don't just say, hey, I'm working and I'm doing this, and kind of just shut them out, but just explain to them, like, hey, I'm working from home. This is what I do. This is what I do every day when I'm not here. So they can understand, so that they can, then really they'll be more invested. Like, I learned that, the more that I shared with my kids about what I did, the more they wanted to learn about what they did. The more that they, start to kind of mimic what I'm doing, especially my girls are like, okay, what is she doing? And I'm thankful now, like, they don't, have like such a fear of, public speaking like I did, at their age and growing up, because they see me doing certain things. So don't be afraid to bring your kids into what you're doing, right? And talk about what you're doing. Mary Messy Motherhood on Instagram said perfection is a great game. I don't know what game that is. Is that a board game? Let me know what game that is. Would love to know.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that game, but I think, whatever games that you have, whatever it is, you can find a way to incorporate a lesson with it. Like, you can use that to quiz your kids. Like, you come up with the question, then they go next. Like, you have to be creative with the whole concept, but you can play a game and teach your kid at the same time.
Yes.
My goal for parents is to make it fun. Don't just hand them a worksheet and be like, do this and move on, because that's when kids start acting. Start wilding out a little bit.
You come back 20 minutes later, they haven't done anything. You're like, what are you doing? Well.
Right. So in terms of what can your kid do while you may be trying to do other things, you can put on a movie, then let them do an oral report for you. This is a time where you talked about public speaking. Yeah. So give your kids a chance to speak to you, to stand up and give a report to you. Yeah. And it could be about, you can give them a topic and say, research this topic. Because the truth of the matter is, our kids are better with technology than us.
They are.
They can read and do a report, pull up the information, and then tell you about it pretty quickly. So challenge your kids in some way to do that, but don't look for perfection in terms of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Give yourself
That's
grace.
the biggest thing.
Yeah. Give yourself grace, because this first week is definitely not going to be all smooth.
And listen, if they don't learn anything and you feel like you didn't check off like half the things off your list this week, it's okay.
And whatever schedule you find and you decide to go by, if you can't keep it strictly, that's
okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, I have a schedule as a guide. It's a general guide as to this is what I want to accomplish, but it's not, I don't go step by step like I would in a classroom, because I realized that was stressful.
Yeah.
For me and my family. You know, so you have to come up with some guidelines. I definitely say have a plan. Don't just wing the whole thing.
Yes.
Because
have a plan.
I know when we wing it and we don't know what we do it.
Yes. Have a plan for sure.
So have a plan, but don't feel like, you know, you're going to lose your mind if it's 5:02 and, you know, you're like, oh, I didn't start dinner. I didn't do XYZ. Right. You know, give yourself a little slack and, you know, just do it a little bit later. So it's not about, you know, being strict with your time, but it is about allowing kids to learn as well as have fun.
Yes.
And play. So this is the time where you want to learn through play. You want to...
Oh, okay. So Facebook cut us off. Not sure what happened. What just happened? Oh, hold on, Instagram. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. If you guys have questions, let me just make sure I didn't miss any here. Hey, y'all. Hey, I see y'all in here. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in. I'm not really sure what happened just now. It says Facebook cut our broadcast off. So, hey, okay, so let me just bring her on here. You're looking at my board now. Hold on. Okay, so no idea what happened on Facebook. Literally, that is crazy.
Hi.
Well, you made it over here. I don't know what happened. Facebook, it literally just says broadcast was cut off by Facebook.
Yeah, they literally told me I was done.
Yeah, me too.
So this is one of those examples where we have to pivot, and that's what we do best.
Yes, exactly. So while you finish your thing, let me go ahead and let the people on Facebook know to come join us on Instagram. I don't know what just happened. That was real. I've never had that happen before.
So I'm logging in on Facebook.
That is crazy, right, Kim? I think she was on both. Hey, Nicole. I don't know what happened. Okay, let me see. I was trying to see if it would let me start again on the same broadcast. But let me know if you want me to just send another link. But thank y'all for hanging out with us. We were getting ready to share resources, and then Facebook just said, no, y'all are done. Y'all are done here. So it cut us off on Facebook. And I have to do it over here. Let me see. I'm just writing a message for them right now. So you can start sharing your resources if you're ready.
Okay, so some of the resources share are one of the ones that I really like is Khan Academy. Khan Academy is great. There's tons of, like, if you search for a certain subject, you will find resources based on that subject. And it's free, which is so important. The other resource that I wanted to share, I saw today that Scholastic was giving everybody a free subscription for a temporary amount of time. So utilize that and take advantage of that resource. Another resource that I really like is
MobyMax. So MobyMax is one that is completely free. They definitely have games and a part where you have to pay, but to actually get the resources is free. So they have pretty much all the subjects that are represented. It's an online database with science and math and reading, pretty much everything, even social studies. Okay. Another resource that I wanted to share is, so there's
How do you spell MobyMax?
It's MobyMax, MobyMax. So that's one that I like. I know that BrainPop has some free resources. So if you go to my website, cleverlychanging.com, there is a green header, and then under it, it says free resources. There's a link to some free resources that are going to be even additional to what I'm mentioning. The ones I'm mentioning are ones that I actually use, and I know are good because I've used them with my own kids.
Yeah.
But that resource, that database is something that someone else created, but it's tons of free resources that you can utilize. One of the other ones that I like there's some apps that I really like as well, that are learning apps. One is the Legends of Learning. So that's what I was wanting to tell you.
I've heard of that one. Okay.
Legends of Learning is a science online resource. And I like it because it allows your kids to practice their science stuff. A lot of apps and other resources are really geared towards math. Like there's tons of stuff for math. Even if your kid is working, whatever your kid is working on, like you can go on YouTube Kids and you can probably find a tutorial on it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So that was one of the resources. So when my kids, when they were entering like pre-algebra, I would have them go on there and see how other people were doing it so that they wouldn't just be learning the way I'm teaching them, because it may not be the best way. So you want to look at different ways. So Moms with Tots says we also like Brainchild on Netflix. Yes. So Netflix actually has a lot of educational resources. So if you, I'm going to actually put in my post, I'm going to continue to update it and my Facebook page.
Yes, me as well.
Resources with educational material, because here's the thing, it's out there. There are tons of free resources that you can utilize. Besides,
and like Sweet JoJo, we will make sure that we add them in the comments as well. So once Ella's finished with her resources, she'll add hers in the comments, and then I'll share some and I'll add them in the comments as well. But actually, the ones that I'm sharing, I did create in stories last night, and I have a highlights page on my profile that says homeschool, and so I have a list of resources there as well.
Yes. And I know there are a couple of people who have joined my podcast who have actual classes. So there's one, her name is Najeri. She has Afri classes, and hers is Maroon Learning. So I will add that as well. She offers history classes that tell you about the world. It's not just that one location. Like American history, you get to learn about a wide variety of places. So that's one of the places. There's, my children used to have a math tutor. His name was Brandon Berry. He has a class, online classes that's called Motherland Math. That's another resource that parents can utilize. But these are just some of the resources that
so many resources.
But it's just tons.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing, because I didn't hear about those.
Pinterest is the holy grail of them all. Like
which
if you
one?
look at Pinterest.
Oh, Pinterest. Oh, yeah.
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 Because whenever I'm like, oh, my kids are doing American history, let me find an American history craft. Just type that into Pinterest, and
Pinterest is how I found some of my favorite resources, especially when the kids were younger. But I still use them now. As far as printable resource, like if my girls, they really love, even though we're also incorporating an online curriculum this year, they really love printables. They really love printed work and things like that. So one of the sites that I found through Pinterest was superteacherworksheets.com. I believe a lot of those, you'll find like free printables, but different worksheets. So you can plug in, whatever you're looking for, whatever subject you're looking for, and you can print them out on there. The other one is teacherspayteachers.com. So
Yeah.
it is literally a platform by teachers, created by teachers. The content on there is created by teachers, and it's very, very cost effective. And so I've used those. I've used them pretty much since we started homeschooling.
Yeah. So
So you can literally, like, those two sites alone, you can go down the rabbit hole as well, in terms of just finding like quick, easy printables and resources for your kids. And this is if they didn't, like, some schools didn't send home schoolwork with their kids. They didn't get a chance to, or they didn't have have time to. Some may be doing online classes and some won't. But even if you feel like you want to supplement or you want something else to add to, whatever it is that they're doing, because like Elle said, we don't know how long, this is going to last. And even if you want to have something in place so that should anything happen like this again, or should they have a longer, break from school again, you just have these resources in your back pocket, and be confident in that you got this. And there's definitely several things out there that you can find as well. So I had some of the same things that she had, but there's just so many. And then I shared like podcasts and blogs, so definitely check out the Cleverly Changing podcast, because she shares some tips and resources on there as well. Christian Homeschool Moms podcast and blog. hiphomeschoolmoms.com. There's just so many. There's so many.
Parenting Decolonized is actually a really good podcast too.
Oh, cool.
I'll put that in there. Parenting Decolonized.
Okay. I'm trying to go back and read some of the, thank you for putting that in there, Elle. Moms with Tots says, let's talk food during the day. How many snacks do you usually give your kids at home? That's a great question. So we usually do 2 snacks. And, they do breakfast, and then they have a snack, before lunch. Sometimes it just depends, because we have, like, our kids we don't start early in the morning. So if they have a late breakfast, then they generally only have 1 snack. So it just depends on the day, if we have co-op or not, what that looks like. But generally we do 1 snack, and, we're definitely like ration, like, listen, like, don't just eat up everything because you see all the snacks in the house. If it's a snack that they really like, we definitely put a limit on it. You can have one once a day. Like, don't think that just because it's a whole lot of your favorite, yogurt or your favorite fruit, like, once a day, so they can, figure out those things. So generally we do one snack a day. Just sometimes 2, just depends on how long the day is. And then I'm trying to think. I think that's it. So what, do you have anything to add to that, Elle?
So ABC Mouse, because our kids are older, so they don't use ABC Mouse anymore, but that was one of the online resources that my kids used to use when they were younger. So if you have a younger kid, I definitely have been on the site. I've looked around, and it's very good quality information, and it's well done. Oh, so Shelly says our kids snack us to death. Here's the thing. Yeah, if you allow your kids to, they will eat all day, literally, because they're close to the food and they know that. So that is when you kind of have to get in front of it and say, hey, we're going to have a snack at this and this time. We're going to do this project, this craft. So you can't just kind of leave it open. Go get something when you want it, because they're going to eat all day.
They will. They sure will. Life Sweet JoJo, that's a great question. She said, my child has autism. Is there any sites I could work on with my daughter? So yes. So actually I had a guest writer, my dear friend, Dope Amazing Mom. She's also a speech what is she? Speech pathologist, I believe she is. She's a doctor, but her son also has autism. And so she actually has written several guest posts on my site about autism and, resources for autism moms. But you can follow her here. Her handle is Dr. Allie Griffith. And I'll put that in the comments so you can follow her. But she has just definitely a bunch of resources. And like I said, if you go to momsincharge.com and type in autism, you'll find lots of guest posts from her as well.
And there are some apps. So I would say definitely Google apps for children with autism. I can't think of any apps off the top of my head, but I
There
know
are
for a
actually
fact that there
yeah.
are some really quality ones that exist. It's just that right now I didn't write them down, but I know that there are tons. So if you want those hands-on resources, you can definitely find them. So if you type into Google apps geared towards children with autism, and you want to put the grade or the age of your child so that you're pulling
Yes.
up the appropriate ones. So
Absolutely.
don't just be open-ended, be more.
Yep, absolutely. You are so welcome. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to put them in here. I'm just scrolling up to see if I missed anything, but really, you know, we just wanted to come on and encourage you guys as parents that, you know, just enjoy and embrace the journey, right? So we can't control what happens. We can't control, you know, what's going on right now, but we can control, you know, how we react to it and just, you know, be able to just be there for our kids and, you know, do what we can to help them through this process as well, because it's going to be a learning process for them as well. They're probably going to be exhibiting stress in their own way. And so, you know, it's just definitely a time to just come together and share resources. So, you know, you can definitely, I'll be updating my website as well with some additional resources. And as Elle said, she also has some resources on her website, cleverlychanging.com. So definitely feel free to continue to follow, continue to share. If you have questions, like, feel free to reach out, you know, and if we have to come back and do another live to go deeper on a specific topic, you know, we can do that as well. Like we, you know, no one's going anywhere over the next couple of weeks, at least in Maryland. So where we both are. So, you know, we're just trying to make the best of, you know, this time that we have.
Yes, and what I'm going to try to do while I'm teaching my kids, I'm going to try to stream some of my classes online.
Oh, good. That's
so
a good
that
idea.
Tune in. You know, it may be helpful for your kid. It may not. It may encourage you. It may give you an idea of how you want to do your class. So that's one of the ways that I'm trying to kind of open up and give parents an opportunity to really see how homeschooling is on the other side, you know?
Yeah.
There's another resource that I wanted to mention because a lot of the ones we mentioned were for math, but there's a grammar resource, which is Brave Writer. If your kid needs to practice spelling, Spelling City is one of our go-to. Like we could just list stuff like all day.
Right.
Like, really could. But we encourage you, as we find out about stuff, we're encouraging you to go to our websites. Mine is cleverlychanging.com. We'll continue to update different resources as they become available, because we want you all to have this information so that you're not feeling stressed. And, you know, if you have a neighbor, you know, talk to your neighbors. Your neighbor may be good at something. If, you know, you're trying to limit the people that you're around, you know, remember to open your windows for fresh air. Get some fresh air, because if you are indoors all the time, you're going to get cabin fever, and it's going to be much harder to deal with.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yes. So thank you, Elle, for sharing that, for sharing those resources. I'm learning some new resources I'm going to check out as well. And yeah, I'm going to see how we would be able to do that. I'm going to follow you and check out your live streams that you do. So let me know when you do them.
So tomorrow I'm doing one. I know for sure I'm doing one about double addition and subtraction. My friend, when I did a live a couple days ago, she actually sent me a message asking me to do one about double division, not division, double addition and subtraction, double digit addition and subtraction. So I'm going to do that at 10:30. My kids that's not what they're doing. So they're doing pre-algebra and algebra. So I probably will do some assignments for them as well. I'm going to give them four math problems. I'm going to give her son 4 math problems. Like, it's not really about how many you get. It's about making sure that you're just keeping up, that you understand it. So, you know, if you only give your kid 2 or 3, that's fine too. You know, even if you can do 1, as long as you're explaining it, make sure they get it. That is what is important. So you want to do like a few things each day, but utilize the audio books. Read. Like, I can't stress.
That's what I was going to share. Yes. So you mentioned that about reading. So one of my mentors years ago, Mia Redrick, she talked about how she incorporated, this is something that we're trying to do more of. She incorporated something called DEAR in her household. So once a day, or, you know, on the weekends, there was DEAR, and it stands for Drop Everything and Read. So that was their time to read as a family. Everybody would grab a book and just read. If you have younger kids, take this as a time, let them pick out a book. You know, if they're starting to learn how to read, what we would do is we would take turns reading. You know, I would read a little bit, they would read a little bit. So, you know, to Elle's point, like, use this as an opportunity. We have one of our kids is an avid reader. Like, she goes through books like crazy. The other 2, we have to motivate them a little bit more. So, but it's very important. It's very important.
But give them an incentive. Like you talked about, not all kids are readers.
Right.
So if your kid isn't a reader, give them something to look forward to. So you could say, hey, I want you to read 8 pages. You know, and I'm just throwing out some numbers. I want you to read 8 pages. After you read these 8 pages, you know, you can go outside, or you can, you know, play, you know, have some digital time. Maybe you do 8 pages of digital time, 10 minutes. I mean, 8 pages and then 10 minutes of digital time. Like, you can tailor it to what works for you and your kids. So you may want to do 15 minutes of school time, 15 minutes of, you know, some other time. But you don't want them just spending hours watching TV. That's that's why we're having this live, because you have other options.
Absolutely. And if they're older, like our older 2, 10 and 12, like, we actually all 3 of them now, when they read, we ask them to write, you know, a few sentences recap of what they read about. So that way we know that they actually read, not only that they read, but that they understood what they read as well. So it's reading comprehension, so that they understand that as well. So Kim says, do you all have math lessons for the parents that help their kids with accelerated algebra homework? Kidding, not kidding.
So actually I do, and I'm going to have to leave it in the, I'm going to have to type it in. But there is there's live lessons, like they're pre-recorded lessons. And
my husband found some too, but he's not here, and he does the math. So I'll have to ask him for those, and I'll get back to you.
So I'm going to, let me pull up the name just so that I can give you that verbally, and then I'm going to type it in. It's called, well, I'm going to type it in now.
Okay, you're going to type.
I don't even know how to pronounce this, but for the higher levels of math, this is what I'm using with my girls.
Okay. Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'm putting it into the
chat. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's a great question, Kim. Yeah, I mean, because as they get higher in these math, like it can be a lot. My husband had to step in for one of our co-op classes that my son was in, and he had to do some retraining and was on YouTube, like trying to relearn some of the different ways. Okay, Colossians Math Academy. Is that a free resource?
So they are actually offering.
Uh-oh. Went out for a second. Hopefully she'll be right back. But it's Koloski's. I'm going to pull it up.
Link on Facebook page so that you can get it there. I'm putting it here just because, so that you
Okay.
can see it, but I know that you can't. I know that you can't click on it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But I'm going to go to my Facebook page right now, and they actually have
Oh,
pre-recorded.
I see it. It came right up in Google.
Subject.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, this was good stuff.
So did we have any more questions? Also, I wanted to say your libraries actually have homework help and free services.
Yes. Yes.
So if you have a library card, you can actually gain access to it by going to their homepage. So,
oh, you mean online? I didn't even think about going online.
Yeah, you definitely can. And there's another, so I know with my kids, I have to kind of refresh myself. There's an app that I use to refresh my my math skills.
Oh, yes.
It works out the problems. So I'm going to share that as well. Just give me a second, like I'm trying to multitask and put different resources in at a time. So I have to actually look at the name of the app, but I utilize it all the time because it's very helpful. Because it's been a long time since I've done this math, and like it doesn't come back instantaneous.
No, it doesn't. It does not. I look at it like, what? I knew this once upon a time. No problem. So so thank you guys. That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Thank everyone that has asked questions. I know, Kim, I didn't think about going online. I was like, oh, we're going to be closed. Like, what do we do? But I didn't think about going online.
So I just shared the math link on my Facebook page, and it's facebook.com/cleverlychanging. And now I'm going to pull up the...
I'm going to put it also in the chat from the live that we were doing so people can...
Okay.
There as well. Go there. Thank y'all for... Right, it does, Kim, in a very mutilated form. Oh, gosh. Okay. Did you share it in a new post on your Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay.
They come up. I think it
is coming up now, I think. Not yet. I'll keep looking for it. Any other questions? Any other questions that you guys have? And I'm just going to look on Facebook really quickly to see if I missed anything.
Oh, it did. I'm looking at my Facebook page and I see it didn't come up. I don't know where it went.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know either.
That's strange.
Let's see. Okay. Didn't miss anything on here. Yeah, I don't know what, I'm still confused as to what happened to Facebook. That was just never seen that happen before.
Okay, so it's definitely there now.
Okay.
About the math class. And I just put everything that the person said. So I didn't
Thanks for joining us. Glad this was helpful for you guys. If you missed the beginning, then you can definitely watch the replay. After here, I'll also make sure that I put it up on the blog and in my highlights. And like I said, both of us have resources for sure on our websites, and we will definitely be sharing a little bit more. This will also kind of get me to share a little bit more. I haven't shared a whole lot. I share every once in a while about homeschooling, but have definitely been getting a ton of DMs and messages, just text messages, DM messages about this. So that's why I wanted to come on and talk about it, and wanted to do it with Elle, because, you know, I know that she is an amazing homeschool mom as well, and, you know, has some great resources to share, which you guys have seen. So I'm glad that this was helpful for you guys. And like she said, she's going to be going live at certain points over the next couple of weeks to kind of live stream, you know, her teaching and her homeschooling as well. And so I may or may not, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. My kids, I don't know. Sometimes they act a little like they'll get on. My girls are usually okay. I don't know about my son. So
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna show my kids, because my kids don't really want to be seen.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be on there. They'll be
Okay.
in the room, but I don't think they're gonna be seen.
Right. So, hey guys, thank you so much for coming on. Was there something you were trying to get one other thing in there? Right?
Yes, it was an app. So while you were
yes,
trying to pull up the name of the app, it's called PhotoMath. I don't know what today my brain wasn't working, so I'm putting it into the chat. This app is called PhotoMath, and basically the way it works, you take a picture of the math problem, and the PhotoMath app will actually solve it, and it'll show you the steps, so you can actually practice it. It is, and it works.
This right now, like for all like algebra too, like.
So I used it for algebra. So like when you have I can't remember if it works for like
what it goes up to
plus C, that sort of thing. I can't remember. I think it may, but I know like pre-algebra and for a wide variety of them, math problems, it has actually worked for.
Is this the right app?
Yes, that's exactly how it looks.
Let me bring it closer. There's the app, guys. So I don't play games. I'm downloading this sucker right now.
So here's another. So I actually have a post. I have a whole lot of resources. So Prodigy is a math game site that parents can use for their kids. And it's gonna be more like a game, but it's gonna be actual math. Another, like if your kid is into astronomy, Star Walk 2 is an app that kids can use. So these are educational apps. Little Alchemy is a science app
that's a good one
that kids can use. Brain Pop, I mentioned. Kindle Books, I mentioned. Duolingo. So if your kid is taking a foreign language, Duolingo actually helps you practice. And for me, I found that it was very helpful for me to practice, even though, of course, we all had to take it in college. You know, we had to take a foreign language. But if you haven't been utilizing it, it's way back there. But this, utilizing Duolingo will really help you refresh your memory. And it was very helpful.
Okay.
I also use Mango Language through the library. They give you a free subscription to Mango Language. I heard you saying something. What were you saying?
You said Mango Language. I'm gonna put that in the chat.
Yes.
No, I was just gonna read off Epic Every Day. Thank you for sharing that. She says Socratic does the same thing for math. So there's another resource for you guys. Another app for you guys to check out. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to put that in there, Mango Language as well. So these are all great. Hopefully, like, you guys are a little bit more at ease. And, you know, it's not to say to take everything and try to do all of these resources. And no, like, please don't do that. You will drive yourself crazy.
Pick one per subject, one or two
per subject. Yes. Yes. Just
because it will be overwhelming. And I know that, you know, everybody's like, oh, this is free. This is free. Don't throw all of that at your kid. Just give them one per subject. Yeah.
It's so much free stuff. You will still get stressed out with the free stuff. Like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And it can be a lot.
Yes, most definitely. I also wanted to say for subjects, utilize TED Education. They have some really phenomenal speakers and just great explanations